So the beautiful thing about Reiki is that you, even at level 1, you can have amazing results, and you can do it on yourself. So like when you say about healing yourself, I mean, I understand that we all have levels of healing that we would like to get to before XYZ. It's never too soon or too late to learn a modality. And again, you can do it to yourself. So basically, when I learned level 1, I was then, instructed to go do certain things and, work on myself. And then like level 2, you learn how to do distance Reiki. So that's what's interesting also about, you mentioning this, or, us having this meeting now, is that I can give distance Reiki. So I could, yeah, just say, okay, just relax, lay down. And, you know, I do it with a friend of mine and we text each other, lay down now, text each other when we're done, just light a candle.
You don't have to have the person in front of you in order to use the energy from your hands. You can just do it, like this, online Reiki, right? And the person can do it to themselves. Like you can do it to yourself, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
amazing.
That's something that I would like to get into, because that's the beautiful part of the healing. So you said you've been doing this for 18 years.
Yeah, so I've been doing Reiki for 18 years, off and on, and in a certain way. And then I also, just through a friend recommending this healer and that healer, and I've dabbled in all kinds of things. I'm not saying I learned them all, but I've experienced them, so that somebody brings something up, I usually know what you're talking about. Yeah. And so I started listening to this woman who does this shamanic healing, and I had my own stuff that I was working on, and I would listen to it repeatedly over and over, and I noticed what she was doing because she talks the whole time she's doing it. So I actually started using the technique on the Gilda's Club people as I was working on them, and I noticed that I was having a bigger response to people being, in that little 25-minute session, because it's like, come in, take off your shoes, but like in that small of a session, I was people being like, getting like, wow. And I realized that what I was doing was working. And yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I'm just wondering, because I'm very intrigued by it, by the difference between the shamanic healing and Reiki. Isn't it kind of like the same?
No, so Reiki is, I mean, yes, it all comes from God, source, creator. But then Reiki is specific techniques. Like when I like initiate someone to be level 1, level 2, I do a certain prayer. I'm over them. I like enable them to access the divine. You give it to them. And then the shamanic work is very interesting because it's just like a different technique, but I was kind of combining them. And then my girlfriend went and studied with the woman who I had started using her techniques. And basically I was doing everything right. There was just like 1 or 2 little things that I, needed to add to it, literally 1 sentence, to like really kind of make it last. And so the shamanic work is very interesting because the Reiki is quiet. You do not need to speak about what your issue is. So it can be great for someone who feels private, who doesn't want to talk. You can go get relaxed, and it can do the healing work. It helps a lot if you give a topic, because I can tap into it, and I might tap into it anyway.
Yeah, but maybe you're still laying down, right? And maybe you use crystal healing as well.
Yeah. Do you yes.
Love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I started doing. That was the other thing. I'm glad you mentioned it, because when I was at Gilda's, I had crystals and started like putting them on my friends when I was giving them Reiki. So I started bringing them into Gilda's Club and laying them on people and stuff. And so I learned more about that. And then I like looked it up and saw that it was a thing. Like I made it up, And then I went online and saw that people do this, and that, you know, crystals go in certain places for certain areas, you know, the chakras,
Yeah.
yellow, orange, green. So like, so I put amethyst at the head, and, you know, so I started like being like, oh, okay, so no wonder I was doing that. It's a thing. But the shamanic is really interesting because it goes to another level. So let me give you an example. Um, I mean, I have so many. So, like, for example, for myself, I have found that past life issues are what's holding me back from getting to certain places in my life. And so I can call upon the white light of creation, put a column of light over myself. If I'm working on somebody else, I put a column of light over them. You know, I do these certain rituals, and I literally see like a volcanic white, you know, like a tornado of white light, and I'm coming in, and I start having intuitive hits about what's going on.